Welcome back to Pause to Unedit Yourself, where reflection meets transformation, a podcast that gives you permission to press pause and offers a reflective space for self inquiry. I'm your host, Anishka, and each episode I will be sharing bite sized insights, a collection of thoughts and reflections on topics that I have pondered on through my journey of introspection, soulful insights that have helped me in the hope it will help you too on your path of personal evolution. Whether you're feeling stuck, searching for clarity, or simply wanting to expand, my hope is that this podcast becomes a space of inspiration and deep remembering for you to evolve from within and uncover the infinite potential that exists inside each and every one of you. Today, I wanted to take a moment to explore with you this topic of balance. It's a word we often hear, but it can be so elusive in our busy lives. In the midst of our everyday life, with our constant demands, it can be easy to feel like we're pulled in so many different directions. I know I felt it. I'm pretty sure each one of you out there who's listening to it has also felt it as well. But what if balance is less about finding that perfect middle point and more about learning how to pause, how to reconnect, and how to flow with intention? And that's what I want to explore with you today. So let's start by asking a question. What is a balanced life? What does it really mean to live this life of balance that everyone talks about? See, balance, it's not about having everything in equal parts. It's more about creating a state of internal stability where our energy, our life force, you might have heard it's called prana in yogic terms or chi, it flows effortlessly. So imagine your energy, it's like a river, right? It flows smoothly. There's that sense of ease, and you feel calm and you feel focused and connected. But when your river gets blocked, think of storm that comes and a tree breaks and it falls into the river, right? It gets blocked and there's an obstruction. And in our lives, that can be by stress, it can be distractions, or that constant state of busyness. It can feel chaotic. And that chaos impacts every area of your life. And so living a balanced life means more aligning your actions with your values, your time with your priorities, and giving space for that rest and reflection. It's more about grounding yourself so that you can show up in each moment with clarity and presence. A balanced life, I feel it's not static, it's dynamic. It's always adjusting and evolving to meet your needs and circumstances. So, what are the signs that you're out of balance? How do we know that there is that we're off center? And I've kind of explored this, uh, for a while, and there are quite a few signs to watch for. Firstly, when we always talk about balance as being mind, body, and soul. So, from a body perspective, it's those physical symptoms, feelings of exhaustion, the muscle tension, headaches, backaches, and our irregular breathing patterns. It's something that you know that you're out of balance. And I feel that. I know when I have backache or a neck ache, and I know my breathing is out of sync, like has been in the last few weeks. I know that there is something off. And then is that aspect of mind where it's your mental and that emotional strain, right? So we're feelings of being anxious, being stressed, that overwhelm. And that's often accompanied by racing thoughts And then on the flip side, it could also be, being in a state of low mood as well. And then from a soul perspective, it is that disconnection from purpose, right? So we're experiencing this lack of motivation, this sense of emptiness, or this feeling that you're just going through the motions and you just don't know why. And it's feeling of this loss in a sense. And so when we're unbalanced, we feel that we just have to power through. And this often leads to burnout and fatigue because we don't have that clarity. And it's like you're just driving a car with one flat tire and the journey becomes strained. And eventually you have to stop. And so when balance is missing, it is that combination of our emotional, mental, physical well being that pays the price. And that impact of our and that's life has an effect not only on our mood and energy, but it creates this block in our personal growth. It creates blocks in all areas of our lives because we're not showing up as our best version. When our mind and body and they're in this constant tension, then our creativity can be blocked. Our intuition can can feel disconnected and it becomes so much more difficult to find joy and peace and meaning in what we do. And, I think life starts to feel like this constant series of reactions rather than intentional choices. You're in this fight or flight mode, right? And over time, this can lead to disconnection from who we truly are. And I've learned that most of my life, I have been in this constant rush, this state of doing rather than being. And throughout the course of my life, I have been in periods of unbalance in many ways, but it's only when the scales tip that breaking point, when you realize there is something seriously wrong, when there is something not right with yourself. And that happened to me many times in my life. I think one of them being when I had serious burnout by doing five people's jobs. And I literally had a breakdown. I wasn't able to do it. I had a panic attack. It was complete and utter overwhelm. And that's when you're given that choice to change, to explore and let go of what no longer serves you, to realize that what is causing you pain and discomfort is not good for you. And so that you start to discover a more sustainable approach to developing habits that are more fulfilling and more grounded. And through that journey, I started to learn that the secret to achieving this balanced life after doing immense amount of inner work is to really tap into your awareness and become more mindful in all your actions. Everything you do should be done with intention, doing the best you can do, and then you sit back and you surrender, knowing with certainty that the outcome will be the best for you and the universe will give you what you need. Not what you want, but what you need. And when this becomes part of your life, when it becomes a habit, it's mastery. It becomes a part of you. Life becomes in sync with all the miracles of the universe. And you become magnetic and you attract everything you desire. You expand. And honestly, it starts to become effortless. So, how do we invite balance into our lives? I wanted to share with you five simple yet powerful steps that have helped me in the hope that it will help you too. The first is press pause to rest and reflect. We live in a culture that praises productivity and taking rest is seen as a luxury. But we have to remember actually it's not a luxury, it's essential. So set aside time each day, even if it's just a few minutes, to quiet your mind. Create a space that's free from distractions where you can just be. And this space, even in small amounts, lets you reconnect and see things clearly. Two, live in the now and engage your senses. I can't stress this enough because being present in the moment brings us back to our bodies and centers us in our experiences. So practice fully engaging your senses. Notice what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're feeling. And that simple act of being present pulls you back into balance by shifting focus away from anxieties or stresses and onto what's right in front of you. Three, align with your values and priorities. We are constantly thrown so much on our plate, and it's impossible to do everything. So, balance comes when you consciously prioritize what matters most to you. And this means sometimes it's taking a step back to evaluate where you're spending your time and energy and question, are these things meaningful to you? If it's not, it might be time to realign. Ask yourself, what is truly important to me? What am I willing to let go of? And one of the key things I realized is attention flows where energy goes. Your energy is a valuable commodity. So prioritize it. Four, calm the chaos by simplifying. Can feel challenging because we often fill our lives with excess. Too many commitments. We like to feel busy, have busy diaries. Too many commitments can also be our thoughts and our distractions. And practicing simplicity helps to remove these obstacles. So embrace the practice of doing less and being more, recognizing that peace isn't about constant striving, but about enjoying the richness of each moment. And if you want to learn more about the art of being, tune into episode 2, where I go into more depth about it. And 5, embrace discomfort as a teacher. I talk a lot about this because there will be times when life feels out of balance. It's normal, and this can be uncomfortable. Life is a journey, it's ebbs and flows. But rather than resisting, consider embracing these moments because growth happens when we step out of our comfort zone. It happens in this period of discomfort, and we have to learn to adapt to this change because each moment of discomfort, you know what? It's an invitation to expand your understanding of balance. And it's helping you find this new level of comfort as you evolve. So, to support you on this journey of balance, here are some questions for reflection. As you explore and you sit with these questions, let them guide you in reconnecting with your center. And drop a comment below and let me know what came up for you. So, question 1, who am I at my core beyond my roles or labels? 2, what do I want to prioritize to feel grounded and aligned? 3, where am I spending my energy that no longer serves me? 4, how can I embrace simplicity and make space for what truly matters? And 5, am I willing to let go of control and allow things to flow naturally? In the end, balance is not a destination, but a dynamic. It's an ongoing practice, and it's about learning to return to yourself over and over again. By taking the time to pause, to simplify, and to embrace the natural flow of life, you are inviting a life of calm and clarity. I'll pop these questions in the notes below so that you can have it for reflection. So let's remember to press pause, to breathe deeply, and rest in the simplicity of being. Balance doesn't mean we have to avoid the ups and downs. It means we approach them with awareness and grace. And through this awareness, we find that life becomes less about getting it right and more about embracing each moment exactly as it is. Life is a beautiful journey. Our destination is never a place, but a new way of seeing things. Your reality will change as soon as you choose yourself. What you do frequently becomes your frequency. Your time is valuable. It's the most precious commodity. So thank you so much for being here and sharing this space with me. Thank you for pressing pause and choosing to journey inward and daring to become the highest expression of yourself. As always, I use these episodes as reminders for myself, like mini guides that you can refer to whenever you need a check in with yourself for a moment of recalibration. So feel free to save them and share them with someone who might need to hear them. And please do share your comments and feedback too. It will help me to know what resonates for you and what you would like to hear more of. See you on the next episode.